rules. And what is the definition of rules? Rules are specific statements. Remember, in policy we wrote general statement, and in rules we wrote specific statements. Understood? So rules are the specific statements that inform what is to be done, right? Okay, you already are familiar with this term rules and regulation. Many a time at various places you must have heard and learned about it. Okay, so rules are the specific statement, means now these are informing an employee that what is to be done. See, these are rigid in nature. Rules are rigid in nature and these demand strict compliance. If any employee violates any rule, then he will be penalized for that, because there is no compromise for rules. Okay, rules need to be followed without any flexibility, any change, unless there is a change in policy itself, because rules are somewhere the part of the policy, the strict portion of the policy. Okay, like I told you that the policy is a broad framework. That broad framework gives the specific statements which are known as rules. Rules are also often termed as do's and don'ts in the organization. What to do, what not to do. Okay, there can be multiple rules. Like there is one rule that if any employee is coming late continuously for 3 days, then third day what will happen? His half day salary will be deducted. Okay, or his half attendance will be marked only. For half day he will be absent. Okay, that can be one rule. Rule always brings penalty in case of violation. Understood? Say for example, there is a rule in the organization that there is the no smoking area. If you violate it, then you will be charged with 500 rupees. Understood? Okay, so these are the rules. Okay, there can be various kinds of rules. What to do, what not to do. Okay, there can be a list. Understood? Okay, so but remember that rules are the specific statements and these always bring penalty in case of violation. Okay. Now let's move on to another plan. So the next plan is procedures. And what is the one sentence definition of procedure? Procedure is a chronological sequence of various steps, right? Means you need to apply various steps. One step, second step, third step. It has to be done in chronological order. Okay? You cannot change the steps. To be taken in order to perform an activity in an efficient manner. If you really want to perform an activity in an efficient manner, then you need to follow some steps in chronological order, and all these steps combinedly is called what? Procedure. Okay, this is also not a new term for you, because if you go to any office, if you go to any place, then if I talk about the government office, then they just explain you the procedure. For example, you just go to bank and you need to get house loan. Okay, then you will contact the bank employee for the same. They will explain you the procedure. Okay, they will tell you what are the steps, what you need to do first, then what, and how the function will go ahead. So the complete process will be known as procedure. Okay, now let's understand it in detail. If you see from the point of the company, then the procedures are the routine steps to be taken to perform an activity. Okay, because for banking people you are going to them one time. Okay, but for banking people, sanctioning the loan is a kind of routine activity. In a day, many loans are sanctioned, so they also need to follow a procedure. They also need to follow one step, thereafter the another, then the third, so on. Understood? Okay, so the procedure are the routine steps to perform an activity in the organization. Okay, and this really gives you detail about the exact manner how the job is to be done, right? Okay, because if you do not follow a certain step, the whole process and procedure cannot be completed. Okay, it includes various steps. Understood? And let me tell you one more thing. The procedures are generally meant for the internal users. Okay, generally. So I just give you the example related to the bank. Okay, there are few procedures for the outsiders as well, but if we are talking about from company's point of view, that these are there generally for the insiders, internal users. Okay, for the employees basically. Okay, and the policies are very much related to the procedures. Means procedures and policies are interlinked. How? Because somewhere the procedures enforce any kind of policy to be followed. Okay, all steps of the procedure are followed in the broad framework of a policy. Okay, I would like to give you an example. We just talked about the recruitment policy. Okay, so there is a recruitment policy. The written rules and regulation in detail is there in one book that will be known as recruitment policy. Understood? This is the standing plan. It can be used again and again. Okay, now with the help of this policy, the organization can do the recruitment process multiple times, right? Any kind of change, updation they can do, that's another matter. Okay, but what happens? Every time if they have to do the recruitment process, they'll have to follow the policy. And what will be the process? Very first they will determine how many places are vacant. Okay, then they will prepare a detailed statement of that, and then they will decide what advertisement needs to be given in the newspaper, and then how the employees will be called. Okay, and then the exam will be conducted. For that also preparation need to be done. So all these steps need to be decided and to be followed. Understood? The policy will explain. Right, so we can say that procedure is a part of policy. A policy may have various procedures. Understood? There can be multiple examples of procedure, like applying for leave in an office. There is a procedure for that. Okay, or reimbursement of your bill. There is a procedure for that. Okay, if you want to avail the medical facility, then there is a certain procedure for that. Okay, so the organization have different procedure for different set of functions. Okay, so all these are known as procedure. Understood? Now let's move on to another type of plan. So another plan is methods. And what is the definition of method? Method is the prescribed manner, means which has already been informed, okay, in which a task has to be performed considering the object. Okay, so in short we can say to complete or to perform a task, okay, there is some prescribed manner or way of doing it. So that way and manner will be known as method. Let me tell you, method deals with comprising the task. Okay, means it is included with the task, and this task is one step of a procedure. So in short we can say that method is somewhere is the part of the procedure, because as we have learnt about the procedure has various steps. Okay, out of those steps, one step to complete a particular task may have methods, right? Okay, I will just explain you, but we need to understand that methods can vary from task to task. As many tasks will be there under one procedure, under one step, under one operation, those many methods can be applied. Okay, and to complete a task there can be various methods, but the prescribed method by the organization will be known as the method overview. Understood? Okay, so the organization has to select a method. There can be various methods. So they need to select a method, and the selection of the method has to be done very minutely. Why? Because it saves time, energy and efforts, and as well as it increases the efficiency of the organization. So that is why the best method, the efficient method, has to be selected. Okay, I would like to give you an example. Say for example, there is a mobile company. Every time whenever they launch a new mobile with certain sophisticated features, then they need to train their employees for that, so that they can convince the customer and do the marketing activities and sell them out, right? Okay, so they need to train their employees, and in that training they need to inform about all the features, they need to tell them how to tackle the objections, etc. Fine. So here training is the procedure, because if you need to launch the mobile in the market, if you want the marketing to be done, then you need to very first train your employee. Okay, and for that there can be various steps. Okay, so training the employee can be one step of the process of launching the new product. Understood? Okay, now this steps includes various tasks. Okay, and to train the employee, various methods of training can be applied. Okay, now the organization has to select that which method has to be applied: on the job training, off the job training, and in these as well there are various methods like coaching, lectures, seminars, conference, apprenticeship. Okay, so this is all right. So various methods are there. One method has to be selected so that the process of training can be completed and the whole procedure of launching the product can be completed. Understood? What is the method? Method is the prescribed manner in which a task has to be performed considering the objective. Right? So objective has to be considered. Understood? Now let's move on to another type of plan. So the next plan is budget. Okay, the definition of the budget is the statement of, it is also a statement of expected result, right? Means what the organization is expecting, okay? Expressed in numerical terms, okay, in some numbers over a specific period of time, right? Okay, actually budgets can be made for 1 year, budgets can be made for 6 months, budget can be made for 3 months, budget can be made for single month. Okay, budgets can be made for 5 years. Understood? Okay, so budget is not a new term for you, because every time in your home as well the budget is prepared. Okay, and if you talk of the country also prepares budget every year, right? So in budget what happens, we just expect on the basis of the past year's performance, past year facts, we just plan the future figures and facts, right? Okay, so what will be our expected income and what will be our expected expenditure, and thereafter by deducting expenditure from the income we can get the expected profit. Understood? Okay, budget is very much necessary for any organization. Why? Because it gives you the base, it puts you a control so that the expenditure of particular head can be controlled, can be minimized, can be reduced, okay, and the profit can be increased. Understood? And the multiple sources of income, as many have been stated in the budget, can be utilized. Okay, as budget is expressed in numerical terms, it helps in comparing the actual figures with the expected figures. Actually, there can be various types of budget like purchase budget, sales budget, cash budget, production budget. Alright, so let's take the example of purchase budget. Okay, say for example the organization has prepared a budget that in purchasing they need to spend only 20 lakh rupees within a year. Alright. Okay, so the purchase budget of the company can state that within a year they need to keep their purchases up to 20 lakh, right? And the payment will be done after every 3 months. Okay, and they can add some multiple conditions like if anybody gets the payment from the organization later than this period, then they can provide some extra income, and some other terms and conditions can also be added with this. Okay, so this is what the example of the purchase budget. Similarly, sales budget can be made, okay, and cash budget can be made. Cash budget is related to inflows and outflows. Okay, so what will be the maximum limit of inflows and what will be the maximum limit of outflows, and how much we will be having cash with us, that has to be estimated in terms of numerical figures. Okay, so budget is very much necessary to have the idea of the future facts in numbers. Okay, let me tell you one more thing. Like I explained you that as the budget includes the numerical terms, it helps you out to compare the actual figures with the expected figures. Okay, where it is hinting towards? It is hinting towards the controlling function of the management. Okay, yes, budget can be used as a control device. Okay, but budget is not the part of controlling function. It is the part of planning function. Why? Because budget is made on the basis of the previous year's performance, okay, and on the basis of the forecast. Okay, it includes forecasting. So that is why it is a part of the fundamental planning in every organization. Most of the organization use budget as very important tool, right? There are various kinds of budget prepared. Understood? So this was all about budget. Now let's move on to another plan. So the next plan is program. You see that there is a big kind of definition here, but it's easy to understand. Let's read it. Program is a detailed statement. We need to remember detailed statement. Okay? Program is something heavy one. Okay? Detailed statement about a project which outlines the objectives, procedures, rules, tasks, human and physical resources required, and the budget to implement any course of action. Right? If we talk about the organization has thought about an project, and to start that project and to make that project functional, what the organization has to do, it has to outline the objective, rules, tasks, human resources, other physical resources, okay, as much are required, and the budget, so that the implementation can be done. Okay, implementation can be done. What activity needs to be done? Okay, I'll explain you. Actually, very first I just give you the example of your practical life, then I'll come to business point of view. Okay, so the example is, suppose there's a man and he is planning a program. He's planning a program of his son's birthday party, right? Now, this plan will have objective as well. Now, this program will have objective as well. What is the objective? His son will get happiness, and in society the people will praise him. Okay, that is one objective. Okay, so and this may be having some procedure as well. Means if you need to arrange a party, then how many things need to be done? Okay, very first you need to decide the menu, we need to decide how many people are going to attend it. If you are going to do it on the grand level, then invitation cards need to be printed and these need to be distributed, blah blah. Okay, there are various kind of steps. Okay, so procedure is also there, right? So as the definition explains, program is a detailed statement about a project which outlines the objectives, procedures, and there can be some rules as well. Okay, in social term, we do not follow various rules. Okay, task, but in company form we will be following. Okay, various tasks will be there. Human and physical resources required, as how many things need to be arranged for the party, right? And the budget. Okay, the most important thing, that father will definitely decide that what is the budget of this party. Fine. To implement any course of action, only then they can start the activities. Understood? Now let's talk about business point of view. So in business also, various different kind of programs are arranged. Okay, and these programs actually include the entire gamut. Gamut means the complete range of all the activities in the organizations. Okay, like the definition itself includes various things. Okay, it touches objective as well, because it cannot go out of the objective. Say for example, the organization is arranging one program, that is the award distribution program. Okay, so what is the objective? Objective is that if you give awards to your employees, they get motivated, and when they get motivated, they will try to perform better. Okay, and they will show more productivity. So overall, the organization is going to get the benefit out of that, right? So the objective is also set there. Procedure is also set. Okay, if you are going to distribute the award, then very first we will have to categorize some people, certain categories need to be done, so various steps can be done. Okay, and how many people need to be decided or nominated for that, and how the judgment needs to be done, everything. Okay, and what will be the rules and regulation to be followed. Okay, within the broad policy framework, the program works. Okay, it contributes towards the completion of the entire business plan. Okay, and it includes the minute details about procedure, policy, rules, tasks and resources. Understood? So this is all about program. Okay, there can be multiple examples of the program in the organization. One I told you, award distribution, another can be sales promotion, okay, or can be induction training program. Fine. So there can be various examples of that. So it was all about the program. Fine. So now, with the help of one diagram, I am trying to explain you the relationship between all these plans, right? However, these are different from each other. Okay, but very first we need to know the relationship, only then we can differentiate them. Okay, let's talk about the objectives. Actually, objectives are working for the overall organization and all the activities are centered towards it. So in all the plans we have discussed, you will find the objectives. That is why I have put all the plans in the box of objectives. Understood? Okay, now let's talk about strategies. Strategy is also one part of objective. Without the objective, the strategies cannot be made. Okay, now policy is the part of objective, and there can be multiple policies. I have showed here only one, but there can be multiple policies. Okay, and under one policy there can be multiple procedures. Okay, under one procedure there can be multiple methods. Understood? Okay, and in policy one portion is called, that is rules, the specific statement portion. So that is also framed due to policy. Policy decides the rules. Okay, and this one portion of the objective is the budget. Right? Now let's talk about the program. Like I told you, that program outlines objectives, procedure, etc. So here it is touching objective, policy, procedure, rules, budget, strategy, etc. So that is known as program. So this diagram will explain you the relationship between or among all the types of plan. Now let's understand the differences among each other. Now we need to compare rules with policy, methods with procedure, or procedure with policy, and so on. Okay, so the explanation I have just given you, the relationship I have explained you, the examples I have explained you, with the help of all these points, you yourself can understand the differences. Okay, I am just running the slides of the differences over here. You need to understand the differences on your own. In case of any confusion, you can contact me. Alright, so here are the slides. So after watching all these slides, you must have understood the differences between all these points. Okay, the explanation can help you out. Alright, so this was all about the entire chapter of planning. Today we have finished this chapter. Very soon I am going to meet you with the another video with the next chapter. Till then, thank you. Bye bye.